so much of college football is like these Mickey Mouse offenses, these empty calorie stats. I mean, give me a break. Like, the more you watch of JJ McCarthy, the more you see him do like NFL things, rip throws over the middle. That was the thing that stood out to me watching Roman Wilson, is like, there are times where I'm like, is that open? Because I'm charting whether he's open or not. I'm like, that really is a very tight window that Roman Wilson's got in zone coverage here. But JJ McCarthy fires that thing in there, and that's NFL quarterback play. That's, by the way, that's Minnesota Vikings NFL quarterback play. So I understand like the logic that the Vikings went through here, which is we are putting ourselves in a position to trade up because if nothing else, we love this guy, and like this guy's a great fit for our offense. So before we move off the Vikings here, and talk about some of these other teams, just because, look, like the most important players we're going to talk about from a fantasy perspective are probably on this team, including Justin Jefferson, who was the number one overall consensus pick in drafts last year. If you want, just forget about best quarterback, like who you think will develop the best, whatever. For the selfish fantasy players out there who just want the best thing for Justin Jefferson next year, Thor, which one of these quarterbacks between Drake May and JJ McCarthy do you want to be drafted by the Vikings?
If it was just for next year, for sure, McCarthy, because I don't know the utility you're going to get from Drake May as far as a value add against even a Sam Darnold in year one. I think that with May, it's for the future when you're thinking about him. McCarthy is the guy, I think, where you could potentially get that value add in year one. You were sort of alluding to this, Matt, but he's coming from a pro style system, of course, for a sitting NFL head coach where they were so successful last year, a 12 personnel offense. Has some stylistic similarities to Mr. O'Connell's offense. Now, the Michigan one, of course, was more run leaning, but that's the foot it was led with on the early downs, and then they leveraged the high leverage ones. That's where McCarthy was of great use. Whereas O'Connell's, it's led sort of with the opposite foot on the early downs. But the other stuff is very similar as far as that stuff goes. So McCarthy is going to be extremely similar, and then the sectors that they attack through the air. So I think that's the one where Jefferson could get a little bit of a value bump for this coming season if they took him.